right, hello everybody. My name is Sarah. I'm doing a tribute speech to Ashley Foylick. When I was 9 years old, my dad introduced me to my favorite thing. It was my first dirt bike. It was a 1982 Honda 50cc mini bike. It still runs beautifully to this day, and it's well older than I am. I fell in love with one of my favorite sports to this day because of that factor, and it is motocross. A lot of people don't know what motocross is, so I'll explain a little bit of it. It's racing. It's just like NASCAR, but with dirt bikes. So it's a very dirty sport. It's very brutal. It's hard on the body. These people are considered athletes. You're hurling a bike that weighs just as much as you 50 feet in the air. Although I've never got to race or experience riding in that kind of way, there are many people that I admire in the industry. It's a very hard one to get into. One of my favorites would be Ashley Foylick. So this is Ashley Foylick. Many people don't know her name or know who she is, but she's a female motocross racer, and she's known for many things. She's known for setting records, winning many championships, and even starting an MX school for girls. But she's mostly known for being deaf. Foylick is the first deaf female who excelled incredibly in a sport known entirely for its noise. A little bit about Ashley Foylick was she was born in Dearborn, Michigan on October 22nd, 1990, and moved to Augustine, Florida, where she spent the majority of her life. She inspires women every day that they can do anything, and she lives in a man's world. Women's motocross isn't supported like the men are, so obviously she has a lot riding on her when she does this really incredible sport. She began riding when she was just 7 years old, and she has won the Women's Pro National Motocross Championship in 2008, 2009, 2011, and 2012. After she won her first championship at just 19, she was the first female to get a full factory ride to Honda. In 2009, she won her first X Games and her second executive X Games win in 2010. So she does have quite a few championships, as you can see. In 2008, she was the first woman to make the cover of the Trans World Motocross magazine. And in 2011, while competing for her third X Games win, Foylick crashed during a practice and was knocked out unconscious, leaving her unable to compete that year. However, in 2012, she had expected a comeback, but she was unable and sat out for a second year at the X Games due to another concussion she had previously during a practice in the year. As with anything, there's a price to pay when you're living on the edge. So it's a very high-risk sport. You're going to fall a couple of times. You're going to have a lot of bumps and bruises. So after taking her fifth national championship and after many years of inspiring many young women to pick up their boots and a helmet and get on a machine that weighs more than them, Foylick announced that she was retiring from the sport, but she hasn't stopped there. In the past few years, Foylick has been an incredibly busy girl. She still rides today, not competitively anymore, but she does for fun. She's done a little bit of acting. She's appeared on the TV shows such as Switched at Birth, and as of recently, she's been in a Marvel Universe Live, acting as a stunt double on a bike. Her biggest accomplishment recently has been opening an MX school for girls. Women aren't supported in the motocross industry like the men are, which is a big part of the reason Foylick had retired from the industry. She opened up a school for girls called AFMX, which is Ashley Foylick Motocross. And she has an MX tour going on right now in Texas, actually. Texas, Colorado, and even southern part of Illinois. She teaches young girls and women to pick up a bike, and learn how to ride. Despite not riding anymore, Foylick continues to inspire women all over the country. And despite her disabilities, Ashley Foylick has had an incredibly successful year in motocross and continues to inspire young women every day. I began riding when I was just 9 years old. Part of that is because of people like Ashley Foylick. She inspires us to be more and to challenge ourselves every day. I'm so proud to stand here today and say that in the first week of June, I'll actually be taking my first motorcycle safety class to get my license over the summer. So I can proudly say that it's people like Ashley who's kind of inspired me to do that, and even like my mom too, because my mom rides. I come from a family of people who ride, so I'm very thankful to say like she has been an awesome role model for me throughout my entire life. So I'm going to show you guys a clip real quick. It's of her defending her title. I'm going to kind of fast forward a little bit because it's a couple minutes.
I love to race the ride so much, I think, because I grew up doing it. I love it. It's not just like regular things. I'm competitive. I always have been. So racing is, fills it for me. It keeps me happy.
All right, I'll stop it there. Thank you guys.
Hi, I'm Veronica Alcid. Okay. Have you ever wondered about the legacy are you leaving? Or the seed you are sowing in the life of others? Have you ever wondered how you had impact the life of others? In my life, I had had the wonderful opportunity to meet people who had somehow impacted my life and mark my life. Today, I want to dedicate my speech to all those who had impacted my life in different ways. To my professors, my family, my friends, and my mentor. Today, I want to let you know how valuable your work and support has been in every moment of my life. My family has been an example of dedication and perseverance. In the moments that I had lost my confidence, they had restored it with love and motivation. They had always shown me what is beyond the sacrifice. One of the phrases my sister tells me is, in the end you will see the reward. And that's motivated me continue persevering every day. My family is a symbol of strength in my life. My mother, for example, has taught me that I can achieve what I long for if I truly decided. but only if I truly decided. My siblings are a strong bond of support and consolation, always encouraging me. The family is fundamental in the life of each human being, but as we grow, different states develop in us. The process of learning, or educational life is part of it. I want to focus on those professors who had astonished me with their dedication and had transformed my life as a student. Those who love their profession and dedicate themselves deeply to it. They had changed my life as a student. Professors not only teach a subject, they also transform the life of a student. An example of it are my English professors. They had shown a passion and love for their work that has motivated me. I really admire them. Every day that I attend their classes, they had something new to teach, and not only about the class, but the daily dedication, the development of confidence, and the taking of challenge. They discovered in me a skill that maybe I didn't take into account before. A professor, change, a professor can change the life of a student. Maybe without thinking, they do. But today, I want to tell you that they had impacted my life greatly. And it's a beautiful treasure that I now had in my life. To my professors, thank you for teaching me new knowledge. Thank you for believing in me. And thank you for teaching me that grammar can be fun too. It's say, who has a friend has a treasure. And it's true. Good friends are a medicine to life. Friendship is perhaps the most perfect form of love. Unlike relationship with family, with friends, the link is chosen, not inherited. My friends are people with whom I have shared joy and moments of happiness. When I arrived to the United States, those who are now my friends were a piece of support in my education and in my social life. We motivate ourselves and we help each other. I admired them for being honest people and always being in any of the moments that I need them. I have, they had made me happy with their humor and joy. Now, I thank you for your friendship and support. These people that I have mentioned today had greatly impacted my life, and it's well deserved. Acknowledge the support and effort they had made. Their dedication and help have changed my life, and it's a reason of admiration. Thank you.
Today, I want to pay tribute to my dad. I admire my dad for many reasons, and I consider him one of my role models. My father did not have the easiest experience growing up, but he worked hard and was dedicated to helping his family. His successes in life, after having lacked the opportunities we have now growing up, makes me want to be more like him. I want to talk about my father's background and further establish my admiration towards him. My father was born in Jalisco, Mexico, in Jalisco, Mexico, in the city Tamazula. My grandparents had been back and forth between Mexico and the United States during the 1960s and 70s, working and building a life for their children. Once my grandparents were able to get my dad and his siblings their green card, they brought them over to the U.S. This happened on September 11th, 1975. My dad was 9 years old at the time. They first lived in Bridgeport, then back of the yards, and lastly Burbank. At the age of 9, my dad also started working as a paperboy with his brothers. This was to help my grandparents support the family. 7 years later, on March 8th, 1982, my dad was only 15 when my grandfather passed away of a heart attack. By this time, my dad had 9 siblings. It was a very difficult time for my family to not have their father around, especially because most of them were so young. My dad's older brothers had become the men in the house and continued to work to support my grandmother and the family. My father continued to go through high school and graduated in 1985. Straight out of high school, he began working as a carpenter. He did this for about 12 years. My dad's passion has always been cars, whether it was working on them or owning them. He decided to go after his passion and open up an auto repair shop. In 2002, he opened Deluxe Auto Body and Rebuilders. It has been open for 15 years now and is very successful. I am proud of my father and how far he has gotten in his life. He made a big move to a different country at such a young age, grew up in a rough neighborhood, and went through most of his life without his father by his side, and still managed to become a successful business owner and great dad. I look up to him for his dedication and his ability to care so deeply about his family. He is there no matter what to assist anyone in need of his help. He is also very generous and honest, which may come across as harsh to those who are not familiar with him, but he is naturally blunt and does not refrain from speaking his mind. I know that not everyone is fortunate enough to have a father as involved and devoted to their family as mine. For this reason, I greatly appreciate him and everything he has done for me. Thank you.
No, you're good. Okay. Check. When Mr. Jones first said that we were going to be doing a tribute speech, I thought to myself, "Oh, this will be easy. I'll talk about my mom. She did so much for my brother and I, and she literally deserves a speech." But then the next words out of his mouth were, "Please don't make a speech about your mom." So I was like, I have no idea what I'm going to talk about. So I thought about it, and there's quite a few people that inspire me every day besides my mom to be like who I am, like a creative person, and do what I want. So that's what I want to share. So this tribute speech is about my inspirations in life. This is Quinn92. He's a musician, and I don't know, he's only 25, and he's already done so much, and he just makes, his music is so emotional, and it's not like every other thing that you hear on the radio. It's not just like, it's on the radio. So it's just, he tells a story in all of his songs, and he's only 25, and he just puts in so much work. And on his Twitter, he always posts these little inspirational quotes, and they just give me a little bit of motivation every day to be my best person that I can be. The next person is another musician. His name's John Bellion. He's kind of big, kind of not that big. I don't know if you've heard of him, but he, I don't know, every single song that he makes tells a story. and I feel like that's not appreciated enough in today's society. Like, people just write music to make money, and he just does it because he loves it, and he tells his life through his music. And I think that says how you can change somebody's life through your words. How his, like, I've listened to every single one of his songs like 75 times, and I've never gotten tired of one. And I don't know, that just kind of tells me like how good I think and how true his music actually is. And he always shows his gratitude to his fans. Like, on his Twitter, he'll always post his fans' artwork and everything they do for him, and he's always so grateful for it. And I just think that's like really not seen as much these days. This is Casey Neistat. You might have heard of him. He's a YouTuber. He makes daily vlogs, and I don't know. He just lives a crazy life, and he makes me wish that I could do the things that he does, and it makes me look up to like helping people and just doing fun stuff every day. And on his body, he writes all these different motivational things, like do more, on his just in random handwriting as a tattoo. And I just thought that was cool. Like, he just does what he wants when he wants, and doesn't care what people think about him. This is Jack Coyne. He actually works for Casey, and he made me realize that you don't need to be the biggest star to be happy. You can just be somebody and still be happy. And he works with like huge people like Casey Neistat, who have millions of followers on YouTube and Twitter and Instagram, but he doesn't need the spotlight. He's still fine with just being who he is and being himself. And sometimes when you're in the right place at the right time, things just happen to go your way. This is Ben Brown. He's a photographer. And I don't know, he just travels the world and does all these crazy things, and it kind of like is like what I want my life to be someday, is being able to explore the world and everything it has to offer you. He lives in South Africa, and he just like does what he wants. I don't know, like, it just seems like such a cool lifestyle to be able to go around the world and travel and take pictures and show everyone these experiences that people might not be able to see themselves, and putting it on the internet for people to see is just something cool that I thought he does. This is Gary Vaynerchuk. He's a motivational speaker, kind of businessman. He made me realize that it takes a lot of hard work to make your dreams a reality, and I think that in today's age, a lot of people just want everything to come quick and think everything's going to make them successful, and they're just going to have a ton of money. And he's kind of made me realize that that's not true. He always talks about how he came from the bottom, and he worked hard, and he worked in his family's business to create $1 million business, and that's just made him who he is today. He's a hard worker, and it shows like in his speeches. He's another thing about him is that he's always positive. He always looks at the glass half full, and he realizes that there's no need to be negative. One of his main quotes is that it's a 400 trillion to 1 odds that you become a human on this earth. So just like that fact alone should make you inspired to be the best human you can be. And the next person is Jerome Jarre. He's just a humanitarian that I think is like an amazing person. He does everything out of the bottom of his heart. He just does it because he knows that he's got the ability to help people, and that just like speaks a lot to me. Like, he doesn't make a ton of money. Well, he probably does, but he doesn't talk about how he makes a ton of money. It's not all about that to him. It's about helping people and the experiences that he makes out of it. Like, right now, he used his social media presence to raise over $2.5 million to help a famine in Somalia, and is just bringing so much food, like 400 tons of food to those people, and 2 million liters of water to those people that need it so badly, because he has the ability to. And I just think that's like super awesome, and it tells me like helping others is one of the greatest things you can do to make yourself happy. Being selfless is like one of the greatest possibilities that we can do for ourselves. He's just a great person. And last person is Roman Atwood. He's a YouTuber. He makes daily videos, and he taught me that family is the most important thing in life. He like everything that he does revolves around his family, and it's not about the money or the cars to him. It's about having a good time with the family and the people that you're with every day, and that leads to happiness. It's not about being the biggest or the best. All these people just mean so much to me, and like they've kind of built me into who I am today, I feel like. And without finding them on the internet, it would be I don't know, I feel like I'd be different, even though they're just people on the internet or people that I listen to for music. I still feel like they have a big impact on my life. Thanks. need to log out. I logged out.
Short things. Is this good? Okay. Hi, so today I would like to commemorate a really good friend of mine's younger brother that had passed away 2 years ago. He was only 14 at the time, and he was young and healthy. You know, no one thought anything of it. And just one day he came home, and his mom found him collapsed on his bedroom floor. So ever since then, it's been very hard for my friend and her family, you know, coping with this devastating thing. But she's come a long way, and I've been there by her side, helping her accept this terrible, terrible thing. And you know, it took her a while. For a very long time, she couldn't even visit his grave. But she's slowly becoming herself again, and she's better. So I've been there helping her, and today I would like to share a poem I wrote in honor of him. So here we go. We stand here and stare down at the vibrant petals loitered around your tombstone. My hand intertwined with your fragile sister's clammy one. No words spoken, but the silent ones that communicate how much you mean to us all. Layers of you linger in the reeds, whispers of your soft voice fill the air, in a wind that chills skeletons and the bones of ruined souls. Bones that have found solace in a place they can lie down and sleep. Where your limbs have become trees swaying calmly, filling their corrupted lungs with air. Your warmth and love and youth still remains in the wind. It bellows bittersweet memories of every footstep you left behind, everywhere you have ever walked, everyone you have ever touched, and everything you have ever said in your short, graceful 14 years of life. Your sister swears she can still hear your laugh. Your mother still sees your shadow settled on the place you left. Remembers the day you passed like it was yesterday, not only because it is etched in her head, but because it still feels surreal. How could you be gone? How could you be gone? Each beautifully colored petal portraying your attributes. Yellow, your ability to shine bright just like the sun. Blue, your ability to turn everyone's blues into happiness. Green, your love for kicking that soccer ball on that green grass. And red, your ability to fill anyone with a passion that sets fires within. Fires that we use to distract our hearts from missing you. Igniting a spark to chase a vision of a better future you would have hoped for your loved ones. A future we all once envisioned you in. A future we wish you could be a part of. You know, I always tell her that it will get better, that one day she will fall asleep with an empty mind and wake up with a light heart. You know, she constantly apologizes for smothering you, for suffocating you with her authority as an older sister. She wishes she could have smothered you with everlasting love. But one day it will all be okay, because she is so resilient, and you always reminded her of that. Baby boy, your presence still lingers here. Eating dinner at the dinner table, laughing your resonant chuckle, sleeping peacefully in your bed, in the tranquility of your home with the family that loved you so. Touching every heart, mind, body, and soul, And as we walk away, I can't help but think that you have always been here. You will always be here, and you will continue to remain here, filling the sky, the earth, our homes and spirits, always and forever, our beloved baby boy. Thank you.
Can I make this higher? I can just go like this. That's what happens when you're 6'3". Okay, thank you. Yeah, he is. Checking, check. Okay. Let's see if this works. Come on. No, that's not gonna work. Let me try typing it again. Okay. Well, let's try this. There we go. There we go.
If we look to the answer as to why for so many years we achieved so much, prospered as no other people on earth, it was because here in this land, we unleashed the energy and individual genius of man to a greater extent than has ever been done before. Freedom and the dignity of the individual have been more available and assured here than in any other place on earth. The price for this freedom at times has been high, but we have never been unwilling to pay that price. Those who say that we're in a time when there are no heroes, they just don't know where to look. The sloping hills of Arlington National Cemetery, with its row upon row of simple white markers bearing crosses or stars of David, they add up to only a tiny fraction of the price that has been paid for our freedom.
A quote from Alan West reads, "We must never forget why we have and why we need our military. Our armed forces solely exist to ensure our nation is safe, so that every one of us can sleep soundly at night, knowing that we have guardians at the gate." In my tribute to the American Armed Forces, I will note two distinctions our young men and women make to preserve our liberties, the first being sacrifice, and the second being their commitment to a greater cause. The men and women who serve submit their youth for a greater cause, defending and preserving our nation. In order to illustrate how our military preserves our freedoms, let me mention you a story from about a week ago. The other day I spoke to one of my friends in the Army. His name is Jared, and he was telling me all the strict honor rules that all the soldiers in uniform have to abide by. Simple things like listening to music, chatting while walking, spitting, and walking with your phone out are strictly prohibited with wearing a formal uniform. I responded that, well, if everybody in society lived by these rules, wouldn't our society be much more respectful? He said, absolutely not. He's prohibited from doing those acts just so that we could have the freedom to do whatever we want. Small things such as this show the high standard that the military has for civilian life. We are protected by them, and therefore we owe them our respect and our admiration. While it may seem trivial, I have an enormous respect for those who have, are, and will serve in our military in the future. In one of the greatest countries on earth, we should all be grateful for the simple liberties that we possess. Freedom of speech, assembly, the right to bear arms, and the freedom of autonomy is preserved thanks to our service members. While it is obvious to think and thank for our founding fathers for the great country we have today, too often do we overlook actively serving members. Do they often enough get enough credit? In today's political climate, it's easy to harshly judge military spending, but taking care of our military financially is the least we can do to support those who actually serve, especially those who make the ultimate sacrifice. In many situations, our servicemen and women pay the ultimate price. Hundreds of thousands of lives have been claimed. Death is the ultimate sacrifice, and our honor for the military families should never be forgotten. In summary, our effect our military had on us can be summed up with a quote from my friend's grandfather. If it wasn't for us during World War II, we'd all be speaking German. Although outlandish, the underlying truth of that quote is true, and it accurately sums up the ultimate payment and rights and sacrifice for the freedoms in America. Our servicemen and women keep us safe from the hands of injustice, no matter what the cause, and therefore they have my highest level of respect. Thank you.
Oh no. Hi guys. So some of you may remember me from Tuesday, but I'm going again. So
this is kind of like my prelude to my poem. Um, but today I wanted to pay a tribute to two of my bosses, Adrian and Tiana. Um, a couple semesters ago, I can remember when I first got here, I was so happy that Adrian kind of gave me my chance at my first job. I was looking up for a way to be able to help support my family and be an asset to, not an asset, but be able to kind of help my family through like paying bills. And working with Adrian kind of helped me do that, and being able to um, give or contribute more to my family. And I learned a lot from her. I can take skills with me later in life that I will be able to apply, and being more assertive. I learned a lot of that from her. And as for Tiana, she really challenged me and taking on new things. For the first time in my life, I was a part of a club, and from that, I learned how to plan events and carry out events and set up events, and that's another skill set that I can take in life through to apply later in life. And being able to be a part of another program that she introduced me to, which was a mentor program. I had never had a mentor before, and that had a positive effect. And being able to have someone to go to or talk to. And she helped me find my second job over the summer, where I learned a completely new skill set that I'm able to use today. So I'm grateful and thankful for them to adding such attributes in my life that I never had before. So here's to them, my poem. Adrian. She's a bad mamma jamma, or so she tells me. And here's how she's helped me. 7 years ago, sorry, wrong speech. About 2 years ago, Adrian gave me my first job, you see. Broken, battered, my heart almost shattered, she made me her student employee. She's sugar and spice and everything nice. She taught me how to walk with pride and put a little more sway to my stride. Make sure you have a theme song in your head, she said. I have mine, find yours, and play it in your head. Tiana, Sri Lanka, I had a hard time finding something to rhyme with that, but she helped keep me on track. She helped me find strength like a boulder, and when she dances, I call her one shoulder. Tiana is perseverance, and perseverance is Tiana. I need another rhyme. She's like Rihanna. She knows work, 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 work. All jokes aside, from her I learned to come out of my shell and not hide. This is true, for I cannot tell a lie. Tiana and Adrian, Adrian and Tiana, I thank you so much. You have my gratitude and help change my attitude. Tiana, I'll dance more, but with both shoulders. Adrian, thanks for giving me a chance. I've got to say thanks again. And I think I found that theme song. It's We Are the Champions, because it's who we are. With graduation in view, much thanks to you. I've got my wish. Thanks for making me a shooting star. Thank you.
There are few people we meet in our lives that withstand the test of loyalty, patience, and love. True friends are elusive and difficult to find, but I think I'm very lucky and happy to say that I may have found mine. He has so many amazing qualities that I feel like sharing with you guys today. When I was younger, I had a really difficult time making friends. I spent a lot of time alone. I ate alone, I played alone, I read alone, but I grew accustomed to that solitude. It was one fateful day that I ran into this lanky, brown-skinned boy 5 years ago, and he gracefully disturbed that empty space around me. My best friend's name is Sev. I want to tell you all about him today because quietly I can't get enough of ever gloating about him. Have you ever met a person that was so intelligent that it was kind of scary? The speed at which they understand things and the fluidity of their thoughts. Sev is that kind of smart. In fact, he's the most intelligent person that I've ever known. I think of myself as a relatively competent person, and yet he leaves my head spinning with all the vast and complicated topics that we talk about together. He never makes me feel lowly, though, and he never sounds pretentious. I am eternally inspired by his curiosity of the world and his hunger for truth. He understands that there is much magic to be discovered, not just in legends and stories, but in our everyday lives as well. Sevio is honest. A lot of people think that a caring person is always kind, always gentle, and always considerate. And although he is all of those things, his way of caring is unique and the most effective that I've ever seen because it is so real. People who you don't matter to you will try and protect you from all of your deepest fears, your vices, and your mistakes. But no progress gets made this way, and Sevio has provided that push for me. When I find something I feel unfavorable or even disgusting about myself, he doesn't tell me that I'm perfect the way that I am or that I don't need to be changed, especially if I want that change. I think love is teaching and learning, and that's not always sunshine and rainbows, but it's essential for growth. Wouldn't you rather someone be honest with you than coddle you? He is assertive, but never cruel, and sweet, but not a liar. His faith in my potential is proof enough of his kindness, but I mostly use that excuse for when he won't share his fries with me. I am so grateful to call such an honest person my friend. Lastly, I want to talk about his charisma. I love him for all that he does for me, of course, but I love him more for just being himself all the time. He is quiet and courteous initially, but when he grows comfortable around you, he bursts with energy and wit. He can do almost any accent and makes me laugh until I cry. I love watching him interact with others. He's always so polite and courteous and so charming. He helped me come outside of my own hard shell and learn how to live in the moment and let go, and most importantly, to learn how to laugh at myself. I'm grateful for the impact that he's had on my personality, for he's made my world more colorful. With Sev, life feels inviting and cold when it felt, with Sev, life feels inviting when it felt cold before. It feels exciting to be alive when I have someone so good to keep me company along the journey. Sevio's changed my mind about the world, but it's not because he's lied about his reality. He's just helped me believe that I am enough to take it on head first by myself. He doesn't always make my life easier, but he does make it more worthwhile. There has never been a time where I couldn't count on you, Sev. I hope you all find a friend like mine, and if you already have them, please do not let them go. For true friends are a rare and precious treasure that some people never get to experience in their whole lives. I pay tribute to my friend today and to all the friends who have never let their loved ones down. Thank you.